I think once you taste the darkness, you like using it.
Riemerge con forza una consapevolezza scomoda, ma ormai difficile da ignorare. Non tutte le entità non umane sono amichevoli. Viene chiarito, e questa volta con una formula inequivocabile, che esistono molteplici fazioni all'interno della stessa specie. Un'informazione cruciale che ribadisce come l'universo che stiamo iniziando a intravedere sia molto più articolato e stratificato di quanto potessimo immaginare. Tornano inoltre due temi fondamentali: il salvataggio dell'umanità e che siamo sfruttati, che siamo una commodity. Ma soprattutto ne emerge con forza un messaggio che 3 anni fa veniva considerato visionario da Tom DeLonge e che oggi trova nuova linfa nelle parole di Brown: non siamo liberi. Questo episodio è una chiamata a riconsiderare tutto ciò che credevamo di sapere.
This one struck me. Large disk using clouds as concealment. And why that struck me is because George and I have been exposed to a lot over the years. And I think I know, and other people know, what you're referencing here. It sounds like you watched a video. You said on U.S. government networks there exists OPIR footage. What is it?
Overhead persistent infrared. That might be a correction. That satellite may not have been an OPR satellite after all.
But this one, and you keep going on, a boomerang shaped, jellyfish shaped, tic-tac shaped. You're not just making these words up. Like, you saw visual evidence of these.
Yeah.
And so did have George Knapp and I. We have been exposed to, along the years, a lot of visual evidence. But this one, the large disc in the clouds, just explain to me seeing something like that.
Well, number one, it's pretty striking because you're watching it from space. It's always cool to watch satellite feeds. And that's just something the general public doesn't get to see. And then, too, just the size of it, it was immediately like, whoa, what the hell is that? It was in, I assume, infrared, black hot for that one. So the white clouds around it. And yeah, it's almost playful in its activities, or like it was startled. But it's one of those cases where I look at it and, it looks like a flying saucer, but it might be one of the things that maybe that was actually one of ours. In the wrong place at the wrong time. And this thing just comes trundling along from like underneath the cloud cover, comes up, and then right when it's like almost center frame, it scoots off to the side and like tries to get out of,
like it comes into it and going, oops, somebody spotted me, I can get out of here.
Exactly. It was visibly, that's the feeling it had.
What about jellyfish?
Yeah, so I mean, I only heard that term once it was released. It's similar stuff I had seen on the inside, and it was often labeled like a floating brain or an organic or irregular shape, so that's why it's in there. So yeah, I've seen multiple instances of irregular shaped things that look thematically similar to the jellyfish. I've never seen the jellyfish video.
Well, there are additional reasons that have been maybe discussed behind closed doors, force fields of some sort around these craft that make things blurry, even for from a good camera image. Do you know?
Probably a very real explanation for why certain shapes, are harder to observe than others. I think, whether it's active camouflage and like the skin of the vehicle itself, that definitely seems to be in play, or a field like you describe. I've seen evidence of fields around crafts. If we are so certain they are friendly, why is this a secret?
Any country in this world could disclose, at this point, a major country with technological development could disclose we are not alone in the universe. There are others as visitors have been here a long time. Why? Why has everybody agreed to not say that to the public? Do you have any philosophies why?
I think in the West, this is the reaction, and that's an important distinction. I cannot comment so much on why Russia or China have not addressed this in a different way than us. But I think in the West, in the Five Eyes Alliance and its subsidiaries, there is a understanding, at least, that this is not talked about at official channels, especially if you're a small kid on the block. You don't speak out of turn. But it also points to, I think, the fact that this doesn't ultimately reside in the government anymore. This is held in an illegal internationalist regime, some sort of international cabal of sorts, mix of corporate, military, political, intelligence, and criminal interests that have come together, and they have subverted us and have taken this and have made it the source of their wealth and power.
So an astronaut, Dr. Edgar Mitchell, told me in one of the last films before he died, he used very similar words.
Well, that doesn't make him feel good.
Yeah, well, he was sure of it.
But lethal action has been taken against people that tried to get the truth out. Or maybe we're just considered wild cards, not able to be efficiently controlled, no longer useful. I think once you taste the darkness, you like using it. This is bigger than me. It's bigger than us. This is the fate of our people. And to me, I'm willing to pay that price.
What is it like to have absolute knowledge that not only UFOs are real, that we've been hiding that our government has controlled that information away from the base human population, and that there is another intelligence that is engaging humanity straight up? What does that feel like, being one of the people that knows that and doesn't suspect that?
It's weird going to the supermarket.
Okay.
Even more, it's bizarre to work in government and see legions of people who have no clue about any of this, and no clue that they are being deceived. And I can't think of anything more pressing for our nation to come to terms with than the fact that we have been deceived and our rights taken away to protect the privileges of an elite few. I am not going to live my life knowing that I could have helped prevent another generation of America and humanity from living in ignorance.
You have thoughts about big picture stuff, who they are. Is it more than one they? Is it us from the future, ETs, interdimensionals? Do you think there's anybody in government who knows? And if they do know, is there any reason why this should stay secret? Or at least some of it should stay secret, that the public cannot handle?
No. The only reason for secrecy is fear and greed. And that is the paradigm that we must confront and overcome. As for the public and what their reaction might be to this information, good, bad, indifference, I think we already have our answer. It's going to be indifference.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the stakes are made clear.
You're an absolutist. You're like, rip the Band-Aid off.
There's no Band-Aid. There's no wound. Mm-hmm. This is not about protecting, healing. This is about power and control. This isn't about trying to save what's good. It's about getting rid of what's evil.
Power and control, meaning controlling the technology and what it would mean.
Those are just means. Controlling humanity.
Everything. Do you suspect that there are reverse engineering programs, that there have been crashes, that there are attempts to replicate that technology? You got hints of it in the ARV or RV, that we're trying to build what these things can do. Do you think we've done it, that we've accomplished it? Somebody?
Yeah, I think we've absolutely replicated some of these capabilities in inferior forms, and oftentimes maybe disaggregated from what was at once a unitary system, but we're only able to do a small part what that system does.
Who are they? Why are they here? Why don't they show us what's going on?
I think I have a good degree of confidence that the reason they're here is us. I think life, especially sentient life, is a precious thing. And I think to some, it might be a resource. I think humanity to some level is a resource for them.
Like a commodity?
Possibly a commodity, possibly a form of entertainment, possibly medical related.
Think they live here?
Yes.
For all intents and purposes?
Yes.
Always?
I don't know about always, but it certainly appears that they have been here for most of recorded history. At least some element of this has been here for most of human recorded history.
You think we would see them if they didn't let us see them? Even with our more advanced sensors, that they pop up, but they can also disappear. And do they allow us to get these glimpses? Is that a game of some sort, I wonder? Or an education process?
It's a bizarre one that I could not understand if it is a game. I think they're both just as powerful as we think, but also less. And I think there is not a single they here. Certainly multiple factions of the same species, if not multiple species. And all the complexity that brings, which might be our best hope.
Do they have an agenda? There's different types. What are your philosophies on this? Like, who are the others? Why are they here? And you've touched upon it. I know we're kind of going back a little bit, but that is the big question. And I just wanted to separate so people understand your exposure and your personal conclusions.
So I have been exposed to no direct information on the anatomy, biology, intentions, culture, politics.
Never came across those files?
Never came across those. I think those are all some of the deepest secrets.
Right. They would be if this is correct information.
What I have learned is that we live in a dream, a carefully constructed reality. We make use of a science that is tightly controlled and suppressed and distorted. I think we are left behind.
Humans.
I think normies, the normal humans, the people have been left behind. Us. People need to understand that we might have freedom of speech, but that has been subverted. We do not have freedom of inquiry. We are blocked from learning what we need to know. Just in the public world, we are blocked from advancing in science. We are taught false science intentionally to prevent us from learning more. We live in the Matrix. It's just much more boring than the movie.
If you were to die tomorrow because of whatever reason, what do you want people to know right now? Like, what do you want people to know if you're just like fucking gone?
You are not free. And this reality has far more to it than you have been allowed to believe. And God is real.